Have you ever caught yourself reacting to someone and your reaction surprised you? Your voice came out sharper than you meant it to, or you went quiet right when you wanted to speak, and later, alone, you found yourself wondering, where did that come from? Maybe it happened without warning. A comment at dinner, a tone in a text message, someone standing a little too close for comfort, and something inside you moved before your mind ever caught up. Maybe your jaw tightened. Maybe your chest pulled inward, just slightly, like you were bracing for something to happen. I want to stay with that question today because I think it's pointing us towards something very important. For years, right before patients went under anesthesia, some reached for my hand without thinking, while others pulled back, even from a gentle touch. When people are vulnerable, the body often responds first. I watched it happen so many times that it taught me something. Not the story we tell about what's happening. The body moves on its own timeline, often before we've even had time to think. I've come to believe relationships work in a similar way. Someone stands too close to us, and something inside us just clenches before we even had a time to think through it. Maybe it's the way your shoulders tense when someone raises their voice, the knot in your stomach after reading that text, the way you suddenly pull back when someone says something hurtful. Before you've had time to think, something inside you, it's already responded. Most of the time, we just assume the answer lies in them. Something they said, something they did, or how they showed up in that moment. But what if the moment isn't creating the reaction? What if it's revealing something that's been waiting to be seen all along? I've noticed something else. Sometimes the other person is only the trigger. What they touch was already there, quiet and sitting underneath for a long, long time before this particular person ever walked into your life. That's what I mean by a mirror. Not the kind that shows your face, the kind that shows what rises around certain people, the reaching, the bracing, the sudden quiet when you're afraid of losing something. Think about the friend who cancels plans and it barely registers. And then think about the person who cancels plans and it wrecks your whole evening. The moment is almost the same. What's different is what it's touching underneath. Or think about how one person can say, "We need to talk," and you feel nothing but curiosity, while someone else says the exact 4 words and your stomach drops. Same sentence, a completely different weight. I remember a moment years ago when someone I loved forgot something that was very important to me. And the size of what I felt didn't match the size of what happened. I sat with that for a long time before I understood it. It wasn't really the missed call. It was every time before that one when I'd needed something and someone wasn't there. This moment had simply found the door that was already open. I'd like you to think of a relationship in your life right now. It doesn't have to be difficult, just one that stirs something in you. Do you have it? Now, ask yourself gently, what does this person bring up in me? Not what they do or what they did, what it stirs. Sit with that for a moment. You don't need an answer yet, just the willingness to ask. Maybe you've noticed how much it hurts when you don't feel like you matter, or how quickly you go quiet when something feels tense, wanting more than anything for someone just to see you. Those reactions, they're not random. They're telling you something important. They're often the moment you begin to see the mirror relationships have been holding up all along. Relationships don't just teach us who other people are. They often introduce us to parts of ourselves we've never fully seen. It's easy to spend years trying to understand everyone else's problems, their moods, their needs, their silences. But the deeper work often happens quietly inside us. We're still hoping for a parent's approval we never fully received, or maybe a delayed text that brings back an ache that's much older than the message itself. Other times, we're protecting a softer part of ourselves that once wasn't met with compassion. When the same feeling keeps showing up with different people, it's usually worth becoming curious. There was a time when I believed every strong reaction meant there was something wrong with me. Now, I see it differently. A strong reaction usually means something important has come close enough to be seen. Not shameful, not weak, just close enough to notice. And once you can see it, you can begin working with it instead of against it. That's a different way to hold it, isn't it? The question isn't, why am I like this? The question is, what is this feeling trying to show me? I think this is one of the quiet gifts relationships offer, even the hard ones. They hold up a mirror we didn't necessarily ask for. And once we're willing to look into it instead of away from it, something inside us starts to soften. Relationships can leave deep wounds. They can also awaken wounds that were already there. Sometimes what hurts isn't only in this moment. It's the way this moment touches something painful from our past. That's why two people can experience the very same conversation and walk away feeling completely different. One person lets it go. The other can't stop thinking about it. The difference, it's not weakness. It's that each of us brings a different story into the relationship. Before we close today, I'd like to offer you something to sit with this week. Think of someone who brings up a strong feeling in you. It doesn't matter what the feeling is: disappointment, fear, or longing. Simply notice what rises. Now, gently ask, what is this feeling trying to show me? You might not get an answer right away, and that's all right. Sometimes a feeling simply needs to be noticed before it begins to make sense. Stay with it a little longer than you normally would and see what unfolds. Before we finish, let's simply let our body settle by using our breath. We'll do this 3 times. Take a slow inhale, and on the exhale, hum. Meh. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Meh. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Meh. That's 3 hums. And that's all for today. You don't need to answer every question right now. You only need to be willing to look. Next week, we're going to look at something many of us do without ever realizing it. The different versions of ourselves we become just to feel loved and accepted. And what begins to change when we no longer have to perform for belonging. It's a tender place to go. And I hope you'll join me. Your relationships may be revealing places in your heart that have been waiting quietly and patiently to heal. And once you can see them with compassion, healing becomes possible. If today's conversation meant something to you, I'd love for you to stay with me. If you haven't already, I hope you'll subscribe. And if someone came to mind while you were listening today, consider sharing this video with them. Sometimes the greatest gift we can offer another person is helping them feel understood. Until next time, heal gently, one day at a time.